Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. The first thing to politicise me to an active role in politics was actually the 2012 vote in Parliament on whether the UK should join the United States in bombing Syria. I grew up in the context of the failed Iraq War and consistent intervention in the Middle East. And even from a young age, I knew how morally wrong this intervention was. And also, I saw how these interventions consistently and without exception failed. It also seemed ridiculous to me, the idea that we might continue once again down this path of the UK being the lapdog of the United States and running along at the heels of another horrifying intervention that would lead to countless deaths, loss of homes, refugees, misery for so many people. So after secondary school that day, I printed off a banner from the school computer, I stuck it to a piece of cardboard, I got on a train with my friend to London. And for the first time ever in my life, I went to march against the possible actions of the government. I'm a Blair baby. I grew up almost exclusively under the Labour government of Tony Blair and his consistent warmongering. I saw the Labour Party as the actions that I'd seen it take, and to me, little of that had been good. The vote on Syria was the first time after all those bombs and drones and allyship with the United States, that I saw that the Labour Party could actually stand for what's right. Of course, Ed Miliband got many things wrong during his time as Labour leader, but to his credit, as Nadia said, this was a major achievement. And although it was not until the leadership bid of Jeremy Corbyn in 2015 that inspired me to join and become active in party politics, his stand against the government and honestly much of his own party opened my eyes to a different side of Labour leadership. But I've been asked to speak a bit about Latin America and Trump. And it's clear that intervention imperialism in Central and South America, just as it is in the Middle East, boiled down to one thing, and it's not freedom from tyranny or dictators or the promotion of democracy as the US tries to paint it, but it's exploitation and control of other countries' natural resources. And the USA has consistently seen Central and South America as its own backyard to do as it pleases. And Trump's administration sees it as no different, but has taken hostility in terms of sanctions and other interventionist measures to a whole different level to the Obama years. There was, from 1998 in Latin America, a movement often called the Pink Tide of social democracy or socialism within South and Central America, which has delivered great material gain for the people of the countries with these progressive governments. But of course, it threatened the interests of the rich and many US corporations. The people, taking control of their resources, as is their right, take away resource wealth from the US and global corporations and the ruling local elites. And inevitably, this provokes a backlash from incredibly powerful forces. So the Pink Tide has, as such, led to many US coups, sometimes military like Honduras, but now often taking the form of the arrest and subsequent trial of leaders under trumped-up charges to imprison or stop them standing what's known as lawfare. Take Lula, for example, and Operation Car Wash, where many officials in the Workers' Party were taken to court, despite being the most popular politician in Brazil and the polls widely suggesting that he would win the presidential election. He was barred from standing and imprisoned. And the absence of Lula is really why Bolsonaro managed to build his far-right coalition and win. Although we hope with international solidarity, the people of Brazil will remove Bolsonaro before too long. And this is similar to the recent military coup in Bolivia. As ever about resources, Bolivia is a country that's rich in lithium. Evo Morales had achieved significant wealth redistribution and nationalised much of key infrastructure. Morales won another term of government democratically and with a strong majority, but had doubt cast over the election result. Despite a later report completely absolving Morales of election rigging and wrongdoing, he'd already been forced out by a military coup and replaced with the US and, of course, British-backed far-right leader. Alongside these coups, Trump has also rolled back all the limited steps forward that were made under Obama in regards to Cuba, with the illegal UN-condemned blockade now harsher than ever, and more than once threatened military action and war in Venezuela in what would clearly be another illegal war for oil. So we must show solidarity and oppose US imperialism in South and Central America. I'm always inspired by the Rolls-Royce workers in East Kilbride in Scotland, who went on strike in order to stop arms sales reaching the forces that were attempting to overthrow the Allende government in Chile, which is captured really well in the film Ne Pasarán, which I really recommend you watch if you haven't. But whilst we're not all able to perform such heroic actions, there are some things that we could do. We must defend the sovereignty of countries to determine their own affairs. We've got to defend international law and UN treaties. Within the Labour Party, we have to make the argument the party must oppose these interventions. But the leadership, Shadow Foreign Minister, the full force of the party has to rously condemn this. There are many concrete steps we can take in supporting the work of organisations which fight to raise awareness and oppose US intervention, becoming members, engaging in their events within the party, passing motions, working with our trade unions, and so much more. Obviously, we hope Trump doesn't secure another term in office. If he does, these continuous coups and interventions will continue. If he doesn't secure another term, then it's unlikely that things are going to change much anyway. So we all say no pasaran and continue to stand unwaveringly in solidarity with and stand for a progressive Latin America. Thank you.